So, you're watching this today, sometime around now. That means you're helping your boy out on Patreon. And I appreciate that. If you're watching this later on YouTube, you're great too. You just, you had to wait because, yeah, I don't know. This is how this thing works. So, what am I going to cover in this video? Basically, how I create atmosphere by throwing a lot of stuff into reverbs and delays and hoping for the best. I make it work. It's not the correct or proper way you're ever going to hear about, but it works. That's all I gotta say. It works for me. Good. Anyway, I'm not gonna dress it up any more than that. Let's just listen to this for a bit. You get an idea. This is a tune you haven't heard, and I don't know. Got nothing else to say other than that. Holy crap, that's loud. That's loud for me. Let me turn that down. Try it again. I'm even wearing headphones. Don't need them. So you can kind of hear it in the background, some of that atmosphere. And there it goes. Basically all that's feeding into this little atmosphere bus I got going on. And that's what we're going to go over this time. So, disable all these plugins. It's just a bunch of different samples. And some strings. Strings, trumpet sample. What's this? Pad, contact. That's got a little delay on it. That's its own process thing, but then I also have it being sent to this bus as a send. You can do that. It's pretty cool. I've been doing that lately. I've been basically copying like this strip into like a bunch of different tracks just to make some random nonsense in the background. But anyway, so yeah, samples. Nothing to go into detail. But then we bust them all together, toss them in a delay. Let's blank all these out first. So we got delay first. Honestly, the timing isn't all that necessary. Like it's on triplets, half note triplets, which is I don't know if I've ever like specifically needed that in a delay ever, but it works. And then ping pong, lo-fi, whatever. You can pick any delay. Nice long feedback, not enough to, kill the system, but enough to create atmosphere, back and forth. Some pitch modulation going on. Yeah. All this was done even when I was doing the project really fast. I want the effect. I'm not trying to write a dissertation over how technical I can be. Anyway, delay, because what comes with this kind of thing is lots of mid-range build-up. Delay. It's an EQ. What am I saying? Yeah, mid-range build-up. Next plugin, stereo widen. Even just turning it on does a little bit, even though the thing's like dead in the center. Wide, mono, middle. Opens it up just a little bit. That delays get spaced out because with a lot of atmosphere stuff, you're basically filling up the sides because the drums, bass, everything's right down the middle. So you want some space to fill up the spectrum and the sound stage. There you go. That's the right word. Now, onto the good stuff. Valhalla Shimmer. The splosh machine. The cave of wonder. I don't know what to call it else. But yeah, this is where like all of it really comes into play. And it's just a preset. Black hole. Like the things I usually use this for, like the knobs, the buttons, whatever in here, is the size, making it bigger, smaller, the mix. That's basically it. Then these pitch modes, like you can kind of hear in the tail, it'll start like a ringing will happen. And it's usually, I want to say it's like whatever the most prominent pitch of what you're putting it in. So like the fundamental basically. And then it'll, let me put 100%. Yeah, just wash it all the way out. And then just play with buttons. Pick one of these, do that, dark, bright. If you ever thought that I had like some like actual method of doing things, you're learning now that I just mess around quite a bit. Some balance things. I was talking about mid-range in the last one and I just boosted it up a little. But I think I'm cutting a bit out, yeah, in this shimmer delay. So I'm high pass, low cut, whatever. Low cutting up to like 710 hertz. Low passing. Just I don't want like that gross highness in it, and I don't want a lot of low end because that just messes up the mix. Anyway, some compression. That's all this does. Camel Crusher. If you don't have this, you should get it. It's my 100% recommendation. You need this, even if you don't know if you need it. As soon as you start using it, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 knobs on it and some buttons. But you usually only use 2, or at least I do. Okay, 3. Never mind. You use most of them. But I just wanted to call like it a Swiss Army, like one knob buttons kind of thing, but it isn't because it's got all these things on it. But you get the point. Anyway, another delay. Oh, back to compression. I'm doing real great on these, by the way. Compression after delays and reverbs. You just want to like even out the signal because sometimes they can be really faint. Like you get that, like the initial impact, especially. Okay, so like the initial impact of like whatever's going into the reverb. You have like the initial like sound, then you have the tail, and that kind of, ramps. Why are my words gone? It's gonna be a great thing to watch back. It's like it's just like the tail. It kind of evens out. It kind of goes down, and compression helps even that out so it stays more present in the mix, and you basically get a fuller sound from that. And usually after that, I'm going to do a bit more EQ. This is definitely mix to make sure it fits exactly where I want it to fit. So no low end, a bit of mid range just to blend in. Some peaks. I know something was making it peak there. Yep, that's part of the ringing from the reverb. I know that. Rolling off the top end. So you get a more, I hate saying warm, but warmer sound instead of like the airy brittleness that's up there. And then we got the good old filter to wrap it off. If you ever watch Micah's stream, you understand you got to drink. I don't say that much though, so you're good. Yeah. And that kind of just goes in and out. I'm pretty sure I have it automated. Yep. And this stuff just kind of, like it's a pretty long reverb. And coupled with the delay, it basically keeps going throughout the entire track. Whatever gets thrown into there, all of these tracks. What is this last one? I can't really tell what it is. I think that's just kind of like noise. Like a little noise loop that's in there. But anyway, it all just, attributes, that's not the right word. It all combines like Voltron to come together to make atmosphere. ATMs, just like ATMs, they give you cash money. You have this, I don't know where I was going with that. I was going to say that Pat was cash, but that's not really a slang term I use. Anyway, and you get that. So all together. See, nice and endless everywhere. It's over there, it's over here, it's up, down, it just fills out the spectrum. Then I have like this little vocal thing being sent to it. Just helps tie it in a bit more. Dry, nothing there, boring. Okay elements. Then that adds all the vibe to it. The vibe machine, the vibe bus. Yep, and then you got the filter going up and down. Now, one thing about this is doing like your low pass, high pass kind of thing. Basically, this filter to bring it in and out. You can do it after the reverb and effects, and it kind of cuts out everything, so there's not a whole lot tail dragging off when you like bring it down. Or you can do it before, anywhere in the chain, just before your reverb's delays. That was a bad, terrible example, but like you could do a sharp cut like that, and while the sound like comes down, the tail is still is unaffected. Like the reverb, the effect tail is unaffected, so you can kind of like throw effects around. Yeah, I do that a lot. Not really in this tune. There aren't any really sharp cuts here and there. So, but yeah, if that made any sense, you got something from that. You realize that I only have half of an idea of what I'm doing half the time, but I have the drive to execute it to make it work. But if I was to write this down, it would be like 5 steps of throw all this stuff in an order and see what happens, because that's basically how I write and come up with sounds. And really, that's all sound design is, just twiddling knobs and seeing what works. You can quote me on that. Like no matter like who I talk to, that's people who are way better than me. They're like, yeah, you just do this, and then I watch them. It's like, okay, you didn't do half as much as I thought you did, but you have this really nice, like complex sounding or seemingly complex sound. So if you're like racking your brain over that kind of thing, just realize it's usually not as much going into it as it might seem. The process might be like kind of convoluted and just kind of really just add plugins and see what happens, but usually it's not much more than that. And it's trial and error to see what works. Like after doing this for like so long, I know like if I'm going to add some kind of plugin, like a delay or an effect, that afterwards I'm going to EQ for mid-range and some high-end. And then after that, I might put another thing, and then, you know, to cap it off or whatever, a complete EQ just for mixing, taking out peaks, that kind of thing. And that process just comes from trial and error, doing it over and over. Heaps of projects, practice, that kind of thing. Yeah. And when you get that, that's all that really goes into this. Is anything gonna play? And I do like similar things when I have like other effect kind of sounds. Like there's like a piano, which has like its own kind of ambient things in it. Actually, this isn't doing anything I'm trying to talk about right now, but yeah. Basically just trying to create this sound stage of sounds and things that go into it. And just throw whatever you got. Use what you got. So now it's like a nice bed. It's just back there in the background, in the distance, that kind of thing. It's ambience. And helps to bed like this piano idea. Some effects down here, little cymbals, also going into delays, like my general delay bus or whatever, which is mono H delay. As you know, are seen, that's my like go-to delay. Yep. Atmosphere, whole thing. Yeah, that's that. If you want to hear this whole tune, it will be in a mix coming on the 25th. So if you're watching this afterwards, go back and watch it. It'll be probably in the mix playlist on YouTube, which is basically where my mixes are. It'll be a video on a big stream, on a whatever. I'll make some probably just public posts before then, not like Patreon specific things. But yeah. So thanks for watching. that's how I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Whenever you saw it in the beginning, whether you were first or you were first on YouTube or Patreon or wherever you are, I appreciate you. I love you all, even you. You know who I'm talking to. You're all right. Hope you learned something. And if you didn't, well, you might learn something next time around. And if I did something completely wrong, just let me know. Or if you have a different way of doing something, let me know. Just talk to me. We're all stuck inside. It's all good. Anyway, later. I don't know how to sign these things off, so I'm just going to cut the video.